Hi, I'm Christina Applegate.
Hi, I'm Linda Cardellini.
And we are in the studio for The Hollywood Reporter.
You mention anything about the show, you're kind of giving something away. So I'm going to do my best not to spoil it for you guys. And be sure to check me if I do.
Okay. You mean now, check you by like punch you really hard?
Yeah, just punch me. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. If you guys don't know...
Where I come from, checking you mean.
I'll tap you on the shoulder, then you punch him.
Okay.
Right, I'll be prepared. All right, if you guys don't know, Linda and Christina star on Netflix's new series, Dead to Me, which is a dark comedy about your characters, Jen and Judy. They become unlikely besties after meeting in a grief support group. That's the gist of it, but how would you guys describe your show?
Oh, gosh. That was really good. It's like it's a traumedy.
Yes.
Because,
I like that.
It's a lot of
because there's a lot of trauma
things.
and drama and pain and grief, and it's really just an exploration of female relationships but also grief and how people deal with it in very different ways. There's no timeline on grief, and so these women are allowed to like grieve for many episodes.
Yeah, and it changes,
I don't know
too.
if any of that made any sense at all.
It did.
No, it didn't. It's okay.
Hard to. It makes sense to me. I know what you're talking about. Just punched myself when she tapped me on the shoulder. It's the thing we've come up with. But I think that was right.
Okay, and that's what it's about. No, but I mean, yeah, it's really that's the core of it. Without giving anything away, the core of it is this really like unexpected relationship that is bonded in grief.
And sometimes it's extraordinarily real and grounded, and sometimes it gets heightened and absurd. Like the show has a really unique tone, so you can't go into it thinking it's just a comedy or just a drama. You know, it's really its own special sort of tone.
Right, yeah. It's kind of everything.
It can't be
it's a little bit of everything. And it has its suspense to it, too, so it's hopefully keeps you watching.
Yeah, definitely. Now, had you guys worked together before this?
No, we didn't even know each other.
Wow, okay. So tell me about how you guys got involved in this project together.
We've been avoiding each other for 20 years.
20 at least.
And
I was like, oh, Cardellini's here.
Crab Applegate. Here she comes. No, we had never met, surprisingly.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, you.
We had never met. But how we got involved is Liz Feldman really was someone that we were developing something for me a few years ago that didn't really work out. It wasn't the right timing for either one of us really. And so but I had gotten to kind of know her, and I really loved her as a human being. And I think that's really imperative for me in my life right now, is to, if I'm going to get out of my semi-retirement, which is not really retirement, it's raising my child, but I have to be in an environment with people that are pretty dope, basically. And she's that. She's smart and funny and incredibly kind and compassionate, and she wrote this really interesting world to live in, and that was hard to resist.
Now, Jen and Judy, they become besties despite a very unique set of challenges. Did playing these characters make you think differently about how you approach your real-life friendships at all?
No, I mean, that's kind of how, without the cloud of, like, sort of the mysteries of the show, the support is how I operate in my friendships, and that support is thicker than anything between women, that we will, like, what you were saying. What were you saying about?
Something really smart.
It was so
before
smart.
I got here.
Before, about how, like, your friend can tell you that you're a total a-hole, but, like, if someone calls you an a-hole, then your friend
then my friend's going to punch them.
Yeah.
Like I also think for me...
like this. Sorry. I'll stop doing that.
I think for me, even though Jen and Judy are messy and the relationship is way more complicated than any relationship I've had in reality with a friendship, the basis of it and the chemistry of it were something that was completely familiar to me, and it made me appreciate the people I have in my life who completely see me, that no matter what I do, they're right there with me every step of the way, and there is no replacement for those people. And the idea of like just being able to cherish the friendships that I have, because sometimes we're traveling a lot, and so there would be times that we'd be working, and I would just like something would remind me of a friend of mine and how far she would go for me, and I would text her and say, hey, I miss you, I love you. And it's funny because the show is, when you see it, there's so much going on in this relationship that it seems sort of counterintuitive. But it did remind me of how special like the friends I have been to me.
Like we've said, the show is obviously a dark comedy. As actors, when you're approaching a subject like death or the grieving process, why do you think humor and comedy isn't an effective way to talk about that?
It's an effective way to release the tension of going through grief. I've been through a lot of grief and loss in my life, and the humor always comes through. Humor, you have to.
You have to laugh.
Otherwise, it's melodrama. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There has to be moments of like repose in this life. We have to not take everything so seriously, but at the same time honor the pain that you're feeling, because it's when you don't honor it that later on in life it comes out in extraordinarily bad ways and bad decision making in your world if you don't honor the process of grieving. And I think that's what, like with Jen, it seems to her that her world is trying to get her to stop what she, her process. And that makes her the way that she is, because it's like everyone wants her to just like get on with it. The kids want her to get on with it. The mother-in-law wants to get her going. Everyone wants her to stop what she's doing, and she can't, and it makes her even more frustrated and angry.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Judy wants you to talk about it.
She wants to like process it. Nobody else wants to. Everyone's like, come on, get over it.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's tough. For people who find the show, people who might be experiencing grief in their lives currently, or who have lost someone, what do you hope their main takeaway is from watching the show? Do you hope that it serves as a vehicle to help them heal? Because I feel like it would help people come to terms with it by
I think so.
watching this dark, funny take.
I think, the whole thing is that you're not alone. I think the one thing that I've noticed in times of when there's been something traumatic and, grief hits you and it comes at a shocking time, that you end up bonding with people that you normally wouldn't, because it's a shared experience. I think, some of the grief that we show on air has come from real places, and I think that if people can relate to that and know that you're not alone and that you can get through, that's something wonderful. And also, it's okay to laugh. It's okay to, it's okay to have those moments where everything seems dire,
Right.
but you can laugh at something inappropriate at the same time and not be a bad person.
Yeah, definitely. Producing the series together and then also acting together, what was it like juggling both those responsibilities?
It's so funny because when you have a showrunner creator like Liz Feldman, that her vision is so clear, you almost don't even want to step in. So I think for me, I really wanted to allow her to she had all the answers anyway. It was very clear.
Yes,
there wasn't any reason for me to come in and be making decisions. It's not like that, it's just oftentimes they say give you this position so that you do have a voice if you want to use that voice, but I never abuse that power. So I think that once I see that someone's got it what they want, I don't want to, there's no reason for me to interject unless that's so far off from what is right.
Right.
And creatively, she was open to us as well,
Yeah.
which was nice, because there was, she
definitely
just trusted
collaborative.
us from the beginning, and there was a beautiful collaboration about it. But she really runs the show, and she, was great to us, and it's truly her vision. And the staff of writers and producers that we had were wonderful too. So
Yeah.
it's to execute her vision is great because the tone is so special because of her.
Yeah.
And then she wouldn't mind. Then there were on occasions where I was like, I don't feel like this scene's working like that we would rehearse it and would just feel like clunky or whatever. And she would go, okay, let's sit down, and they'd sit down and rewrite it, and we'd take the time to make sure that it was exactly right.
That's great.
So then she would listen. So she's just awesome. We can't say
Yeah, she really is.
We
Can't
love
hate
her.
a collaborative process. That's
No.
amazing. And it really is such a wonderful portrayal of female friendship, Jen and Judy. How do you think that is impactful in today's climate, which seems to have this push for female empowerment? I feel like it says a lot right now.
Yeah, I think, what we all need right now is support. Genuine, non-judgmental, unconditional support in this world. And because it's so divisive right now. And I love that at the heart of the show, that's what this is. It's two people holding each other up, not at my daughter's school. Howl me up, don't paw me down. There you go.
I love that.
Don't paw me down.
Where do you guys overlap the most with your characters?
Because I was feeling you up.
Are we having a moment right now?
Sorry. We really like each other.
Where do you guys overlap the most with your characters, and how are you most different than Jen and Judy?
Ooh,
There you go.
Judy's a handful, so that's a tricky question. Judy's more optimistic than I am. She is less cynical than I am. So that at first I was like, I don't know. You know, she's afraid of conflict. There were parts of that I was like, there were certain ways I wanted to react in scenes and had to dial it back a bit because she's different than I am in that way. But I think Judy's a giver. I like to think of myself as somebody in a relationship who is a giver. So, I mean, what? You know,
Or a receiver,
depending on what somebody else wants. Just kidding. Yeah, so we're somewhat alike and somewhat different.
Cardellini for the win!
What about you and Jen?
Oh, gosh. I've been telling the story about how when I got the script, I actually wanted to play Judy, and then I figured that was what they wanted me to play. And when Liz came to the house, she's like, oh no, honey, you're Jen. And I was like, how do I take that? How do I? I'm Jen. But then I got it. And I am. Very much our fibers are the same. So I really got her. And the things that are dissimilar is my ragey bits are not as ragey bits as hers. I can control myself. I also am a little bit more forgiving and accepting of the world throwing crap at my face. I'm a little bit more, I can deal with it, it's fine. As opposed to Jen, who's like a rattlesnake that got its tail stepped on in the world. But the core part of her is, yeah, I get it.
Now, would you guys want to be friends with Jen and Judy in real life? What would a girls' night out look like between the two of you and Jen and Judy?
I would totally want to be friends with Judy.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd be friends with them.
Yeah.
They seem like a lot of fun.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
the beach.
Yeah.
Smoking a doob.
I mean,
If I smoke doobs, I don't. I'm not like the cover up. I don't. Wish I did though. Looks like fun.
With Jen and Judy, even more fun.
Cardellini.
no, I would want to be friends with
Yeah.
them.
We
you
would
know.
have to help. We would have to help them a little.
Yeah,
bit.
it would
We'd
be a
have to
little-
really. We'd have to lift them
intervene
up
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, of course, that insane finale left me wanting so much more. Have you guys thought about season 2 at all?
I think
Yeah.
there's definitely. I mean, we don't know that we haven't gotten any kind of official on anything,
Yeah, if
but
there is one.
if there is one. But I know Liz has got basically kind of an outline for the second season if that was to happen, because then she's gonna have to start writing it like now. She's poor baby. She needs a nap. Liz needs a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that we kind of know.
I can't wait for that. Thank you guys so much again
Thank
for
you.
being here. You guys can catch more of Linda and Christina on Dead to Me, streaming now on Netflix.